Let's get started and welcome in now Lara Trump. She joins us live. We're going to talk about the road to 2024. Lara, great to see you.
Well, great to be with you guys. Thank you so much.
All right, well, let's start. Ron DeSantis, he's on the cover of Time magazine. I think we have that. We can put it up on the screen here and show it to you. What Ron DeSantis means for America. And they write, what was once the butt of jokes about gators and retirees, the now swaggering southern-tinged free state of Florida, where men are men, woke is broke, and business is booming. 12,000 net new residents arrive every day. So there we go. I mean, that's the backdrop for all of this. I think a lot of people are wondering when Ron DeSantis is actually going to announce.
Yes, well, I think we've heard a lot of rumblings for months now. I assume at some point perhaps he will decide to let everyone know. But look, let's face it, Ron DeSantis is running for president without saying he's running for president. He just did a world tour, and no one can really figure out why you would do such a thing if you weren't vying for 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. I really don't think, John, it matters how far out of his way Ron goes to make all the stops, to do all these sort of things. The truth is, whether it's Ron DeSantis, Nikki Haley, anyone else who might get in this field, they are all running on the Trump platform. They are Trump 2.0. And why would anyone want to go for second best and a replica when you have the real thing running as well, which is Donald Trump? I mean, you look at the polling in the GOP field, and even with Ron DeSantis in there, Donald Trump is taking well over 50% of the GOP vote right now. It isn't even a question, I think, for so many people as to who the most popular candidate is. He is the head of the Republican Party. He started the Make America Great Again movement, and this country, under his leadership, was, of course, working for Americans. So, yeah, let's see what Ron finally decides to do and when he decides to tell us all he's running for president. We're all paying attention.
Now, in response to what you just said, the New York Times is reporting this. They say that DeSantis privately tells donors that Trump can't win in a phone call organized by the Never Back Down super PAC. He said, quote, "You have basically three people at this point that are credible in this whole thing, Biden, Trump, and me. And I think of those three, two have a chance of getting elected president, Biden and me." What do you think about that?
Well, yeah, of course, he's talking to his mega donors. What else is he going to say? He's trying to get the big money there, and he's trying to tell them what they want to hear. But the truth is, like, John, you look at what we just found out, obviously, with this Durham report. We got confirmation of what we all knew, which is the corruption in our government is at such a level right now that I think Americans are really terrified. And I think they know when you look at the entire field of candidates, there is one person who really is going to be able to drain the swamp. It is Donald Trump. We can't have the FBI and the CIA meddling in our elections. They're supposed to be protecting us and serving us as American citizens. This kind of thing really frightens people, and I think it's the reason people think to themselves, the actual only credible candidate at this point may be Donald Trump, and I think that's how they're going to all vote.
All right, do me a favor and put aside your last name for a second, because I want to ask you a question as a mom and a resident of Florida, and as it relates to this fight that Governor DeSantis is having with Disney. He's being sued by Disney. They're now scrapping plans to build a $900 million employee campus in Central Florida. This feud goes back a long time, ever since Disney started pushing back on this parental rights and education law. Again, as a mom, as a Floridian, do you think this fight is worth it for Governor DeSantis?
Well, I love what he has done here in the state for parental rights. There's no doubt. I have both of my kids here in Florida in school, and it is something that is appreciated, I think, by all parents here. And I think there are a lot of parents around the country who would like to see the same thing. But it is a fine line he walks as governor, because at what point do you actually start to hurt your own citizens? Look, with Disney pulling out now, there's no doubt that the local economy will suffer. There are jobs being removed from the state, which otherwise would have gone to Florida residents. And that is a pretty tough pill to swallow, I'm sure, for Ron DeSantis. There does seem to have been a bit of a crusade on his part. He knows it got him a lot of media attention. But at this point, maybe he's second guessing himself. The problem is he can't walk back from this now. He has come this far. He can't just sweep it under the rug. So it's a tough place to be. And it's, again, a fine line to walk for him. But I certainly appreciate what he has done thus far in the state of Florida.
Yeah, we asked him when we interviewed him, has he sat down, has he tried to reach out to the CEO and try to work this out among men. He says he hasn't done that yet, and maybe you could do this without all the money that the lawyers are going to get. Bob Iger and Ron DeSantis maybe could talk this one out. But let's also focus on one last topic for you. I don't know if you saw it. I know you go on Eric's shows sometimes, but Roger Ailes' widow, Beth, joined Eric Bowling last night, and Eric asked her about Fox's decision to scrap Tucker Carlson's show, and here's what she said.
No, he would have been very much involved in Tucker's, how he was positioning his shows, just as he was with Bill O'Reilly. Whenever there was something controversial or something big came up, he was always very much in touch with the talent, never telling them what to do or how to say something, but rather how to keep everybody in their lane.
You know, the heartbeat of Fox News has started to die. You know, I think you leaving was one of the first signs of that. But what's your reaction there, Lara?
Well, I don't blame her for wanting to speak out. I mean, you know, her husband worked so hard to start Fox News. I can imagine it's been very hard for her to see what has happened. You know, Fox News was #1 under Roger Ailes most of the time. There's no doubt about that. And it remained that way until very recently. And I think they probably are scrambling around over there trying to figure out, well, now how do we fix this? Because there is no doubt the ratings are suffering. There's no doubt they've lost a lot of their audience. I know you guys at Newsmax have gained quite a bit of that audience, so I'm sure that's been great for you. But I'm sure it's been frustrating for her to see what's happened and to know how much her husband put into that network. I just think as a conservative, I want to see more conservative news outlets out there. I love that Newsmax is doing well. I think we need more, not less, because, look, we got a tough fight as we head to 2024. And, John, I think you know and all the viewers know out there, this is probably the most critical election of our lifetime that we have seen thus far. We have no choice but to take back the White House, take back the Senate, and keep the House in 2024, and let's all head in that direction.
Yeah, look at the spin that the establishment media, the legacy media are doing with the Durham report and what we saw yesterday from those FBI whistleblowers. If we don't have conservative media, the American public will not get the truth. Thank you, Laura. Great to see you as always. Take care.
Thank you.